Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Infinity Countdown Champions, issue number 2 of 2. You see that scene? You can substitute that scene with, spoilers, RiRi Williams. I want to get more into RiRi in just a minute. Okay, so basically, what this comic book amounts to is Adsit is a total butthead, dude. Like, I get it. I get why he does what he does, but he is still a total jerk, man. A total jerk. And I'm really hoping that Zub does this right. Because, and when I mean does it right, I'm not going to sit here and say that I know exactly what he should do. No, I hope that he does it right by really keeping me entertained like he's doing so far. This is brilliance personified, okay? Sam Alexander is ridiculously powerful. Powerful enough to take down the Warbringer, who we just saw take down a bunch of Nova Corpsmen. Yeah. While you've been reading, if you've been reading the Infinity Countdown and the Nova Corpsmen have just been like torn up, remember, those are all acolytes, with the exception of Richie Rider, who, while he is the most skilled Nova Corpsman alive, he's also using a regular helmet. He's not using the black helmet, which is the most powerful helmet that there is. I know there's a bunch of people who attack me and like, the black helmet actually isn't the most powerful one. Thank you for telling me that you don't actually understand the way the Nova Corps. Look, it's one thing to not know how the Nova Corps works, because like it's geek knowledge. It's not that big of a deal. But don't try and give me false information and act like you know what you're talking about, because you don't. I've had way too many people attack me on that. The black core is not really the most... Stop, please. Yes, it is. It's called Google, okay? I'm sure you'll find it there if that's in place of actually reading all of the old Nova Corps comics. But regardless... Yes, the most powerful of the helmets. There were very few of them out. This is the only surviving one that we actually know about. And, dude, Adsit, like I said, is a butthead in this. And I hope that somehow this is going to be made right. And honestly, I hope that this is a good reason to have Sam off of the team, just so that we can get a solo series with Sam. Hey, look, if Jim wants to keep him on the team and Adsit's going to give him do I want to spoil this? All I'm saying is that this could, what Jim could do about retraining or actually giving Nova some training, Sam Alexander, it could be done on this comic book, but I'd almost rather it be done in a solo series because it deserves that. At the same time, whatever, I get it. So it could be done on here because it'll almost be like retreading space that we've already experienced. So fine, you could do it on the comic book. Fine, I give you permission. Who the heck am I? Wow, this is such a brilliantly done comic book. Now, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this, okay? RiRi Williams gets a wake-up call. Now look, I'm going to be a little bit mean for a couple seconds here, all right? I think that most of us know of a certain YouTuber and a bunch of who's particularly mean. He says mean things. He trolls a lot, and he is extremely immature because he's basically trying to be like the Howard Stern of comic book reviews. I whatever, man. Dude just needs to grow up and start acting his age. Regardless. You know, he apparently just got his psychology degree, and he's able to classify a comic book character as a sociopath, which this character, RiRi Williams, displays zero of the traits of a sociopath, mind you. I actually did get an associate's degree in sociology after I transferred over a bunch of credits from psychology, because anyway, that's not really important. That was also a long time ago. But the point is that no, RiRi Williams is not a sociopath. No actual clinical psychologist would ever look at the RiRi Williams character and read all of her comic books and say, oh yeah, definitely. Or it wouldn't even say she displays signs thereof. So no, that's about as bogus gets. What's funny though is all the little imitation, the mini hymns, the mini me's that try and follow suit and also, you know, act like him in their YouTube videos and try and say the exact same things. In which case, why do we need to listen to you? We could just go to the source. He's already saying it. But the point is that even if you do believe that RiRi Williams was all these things that were made up about her, which actually could be attributed to Dr. Doom, not her. Apparently, Jim Zub has been paying attention to that. Zub has heard the comments, has read the comments back when Mark Waid was writing her, back when, in this comic book, back when, what was it, Dan Slott that was writing her? No, it wasn't Dan Slott. Brian Michael Bendis was writing her in Invincible Iron Man. All of that. Zub has heard you and is trying to offer an olive branch, which I don't think should be done. But regardless, this is actually pretty cool. Pretty cool. I got to see a look of what the armor looks like. It did not look necessarily like this, but I don't really like the pink in this. I hope that the pink doesn't stay. Regardless, she's going to get new armor. You get to see where she gets the design from, the design idea from, that she's going to make this armor look like and represent. But more than that, the reason why it happens, I told you, you're going to substitute Sam Alexander with somebody else. You're going to substitute him with RiRi Williams. This actually happens to RiRi Williams in the comic book, and she gets into it by her own machinations. And I'm simply going to point this out, hopefully for the final time, but who knows. RiRi Williams is not a sociopath. No, she's actually worse in some ways. She's a 15-year-old little child. Now, I can't relate to what it means to be a 15-year-old little girl. I have two girls, one who's 15 now, one who's a little older than that. And I do know that little girls can be dumb. I know that little boys can be dumb too, because I used to be one of them. And I can honestly say all the stupid things that I've done when I was around that age, and just, no right to still be alive. No right to still have all my appendages. Like, oh my God, were we not stupid? Like, as guys, were we not stupid at that age? Did we all forget that? Or did we all already grow up and we're like, these kids today are no different than us. They're no different than us. So no, it doesn't matter if you're a millennial or a Generation X or anything in between. We were all stupid at that age. And RiRi Williams just happens to be smarter than all of us at that age, but she's still stupid because she's at that age. It's a interesting juxtaposition, but it balances pretty well. Anyway, her ego, because let's be realistic, if you were smarter than everybody, you'd probably have a bit of an ego, right? If you were stronger than everybody, you'd have a bit of an ego, right? So all of those things. RiRi got taken down a peg. Oh yeah, big time. And if people are going to jump on board with that, I'm happy. If not, you're lost. I'm calling it right now. Like, seriously, you're just lost. She had a moment. This was that staring down the barrel of a gun. All right. And even worse than that, it's not like staring down the barrel of a gun at a criminal. No, staring down the barrel of a gun at a cop, who, like a dirty cop, who you know that this cop could shoot you and get away with it. Because if it's like, a regular cop, you think, oh, or just somebody's like, oh, don't do it. You might be thinking to yourself, I might get out of this. I'm still peeing my pants, but I might get out of this because nobody wants to have to clean up my body and explain all this stuff. And I might get out of it that way. But if it's a cop, when's the last time a cop has actually been prosecuted for shooting somebody? Seriously, no matter what the circumstances or evidence or whatever. And that's the situation that RiRi is pretty much in here. Nobody's going to get revenge on Thanos. The Avengers aren't going to avenge RiRi's death. You can't kill Thanos. Not really. Not permanently, that's for sure. What are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? So she has that moment where she realizes, I could die here. Everything that I've ever done, all of my accomplishments will fizzle away in a moment. That's the moment that she has here. And I know that moment. I've experienced it several times. You know what I'm saying? Your life doesn't necessarily flash before your eyes. Oh no, time slows down and you are reading your life in a freaking exposition. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm about to die now. No, like it's a scary situation. And I think the earliest I had that was I was maybe about 16 or 17 years old, something. I guess I was 16. Anyway, yeah, yeah. She has that, and it's a terrifying moment. And I think that this is going to allow Zub to change her personality in a really, really positive way that more people can get behind. And there's some people who are just not going to, because they're just going to follow the puppet master sayings of the master who's controlling the marionette strings. It is what it is, man. And it is what it is. All right. This was a moment where, like, I love RiRi Williams, and I saw this moment. I'm like, oh wow, her character's about to get a whole lot deeper. A whole lot deeper. Said what I said. All right, guys. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.